All right, Creep Tapes, Season 2, Episode 4, Ava. Couple quick things here. Number one, I think we need to always remember that despite this being on Shudder, despite this being a horror franchise, I feel like this is first and foremost a comedy, right?
Yeah.
It's a dark comedy,
Yeah.
right, with horror elements and murders and a serial killer and all that stuff. But I think sometimes we forget that this is really at its core
Comedy.
supposed to just be funny.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you can take this episode seriously in any way. This is such a ridiculous, outlandish episode and interaction with this girl. So yeah, that's another thing. I don't remember anybody in the previous episodes being female. I think
Either.
all of the
guys.
episodes, right? So the only other girl that's ever been in this has been the one from part 2
Yeah, I think
of the
so.
film franchise.
I think that's right.
Please correct us if we're wrong here, but I want to say this is only the second time we've ever had the creep with a girl.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and then secondly, I guess I'll ask this. I don't think this is the case, but I'm curious on your thoughts on this. Do you think that the creep just kind of like does shit, or is there supposed to be hints towards his mental state in any way of like this wolf character, right? Because like in the previous season we got the mom and the wolf and there was some discussion about the past and all of that stuff. His mom's not come back yet. I don't know if we'll see her again. Hopefully like season finale, maybe she might return. We'll see. Didn't he have a brother in that too that they discussed, but I don't remember. I'd have to go back and rewatch it. Anyway, I don't want to get off topic here, but like, is there any semblance of truth or like of who he is or like his character in this stuff, or is just this all just bullshit trolling?
I don't know. It's really hard to say because I feel like he's very self-aware, but like we were talking about when we were watching this, like first and foremost, besides being like a murderer, he kind of is just a troll. Like he does just like to push people, like see what people will take, and it's always very like insane how far people seem to be willing to go. But I don't know. I think he does kind of use it also as like, I think he's also kind of like a performance artist in his head. So I do think that on one hand, like he thinks of these as art. And so I do think he kind of works through like issues that he's having with himself or with other people or whatever through like the murders that he stages. So yeah, I think there might be like a little bit in this that's kind of like hinting-ish at his mental, like where he's at. I don't know. It's hard to tell. This one was a really, I hate using this word because I feel like it's overused, but I was very, it was cringy, I felt like, this episode. I don't know. I think this character in particular, I was just like, oh, God, no.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we always have to remember that what we're viewing is the footage of these filmmakers typically, right, that he hires. So he specifically wants this documented for himself, right? Like a lot of the times when we watch these types of movies or shows or whatever, the camera is the fourth wall. It's not there, right? We're just watching them do whatever they do. But he wants an audience, whether that audience is himself or we find out in another episode from the first episode of season 2 that these are uploaded onto the dark web. Now he filters his face and his voice so he can't, he isn't going to get caught or anything. But he very much is like a wannabe filmmaker, right? We've talked about how in previous entries he's talked about his love for film. Yeah. And his obsession with film. And yeah, I think that he is like a method actor who's also a troll who loves to see what people will put up with.
Yeah.
You know, as a social experiment, a really fucked up one. But he gets like method with his characters.
Yeah.
Commits to it. And then of course at the end of it, he has to kill them off because what else is he can't let them go.
Yeah.
And he always goes in with the intention of killing them. Like, I never really get the sense that he's ever meaning to let anyone live. But speaking of the girl, right, the only person that has ever lived has been the girl from Creep 2. To my memory, please correct me if I'm wrong. So, I mean, I guess, and his mother, who's another woman. Yeah, I mean, this is just like many other episodes, like many other creepy, stories.
Mm-hmm.
This is just so outlandish. Now, is it beyond the pale, right? Like, is it beyond believability? Part of me says yes, right? And does it really matter, right? It's supposed to be entertainment. Because this is found footage, and it's supposed to have that realistic flavor to it, I like to write it off as like, it's comedy, don't take it too seriously. It is silly. It's meant to be silly. The believability issue is always going to feel relevant in found footage.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's supposed to feel real.
Right.
To an extent. And it's like, would Ava really stick around? And I told you. I mean, I called it verbatim because this is something they love to do in this franchise. But, you were like, oh, come on, she'd leave by now. And I was like, no, wait. She's going to go into a bathroom. This is literally what I said to Kaylee. Yeah. I'm like, he's going to go into a bathroom and she's going to film herself justifying why she needs to stay and what a great documentary it will make because the guy's clearly a loon.
Yeah.
And is literally verbatim what happens.
Yeah.
Is that justification strong enough? I don't know. Maybe. People are nuts, man. People stick through abusive relationships and crazy situations all the time. And people who are clout chasing and are content fucking, whores who are trying absolutely anything to have relevance in this current landscape of content creation. Does he ever feel believable to me? No. Like, he's clearly acting insane on purpose, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But whether or not she buys that, because like you could show somebody this footage and you'd be on the outside of it being like, this isn't real. This guy's fucking
I
playing
think she probably doesn't even care, honestly, because I think, like you said, it is just like how she can maybe get some attention and
but
like
at
make
what
a
point
documentary.
does her like
her I know what word you're thinking of. Ambition?
No,
kind of?
No. I'm talking about like her desire to live, right?
Oh, sure.
Like,
yeah.
kick in.
Her survival instinct.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But that's kind of a theme in a lot of the...
Especially a woman.
Sure. But in a lot of these victims, they do seem to have broken survival instincts because they do get kind of in too deep where you're thinking like there's just no way somebody would stick around, and they inevitably do. I think that like you said at the beginning, I think kind of remembering that these are supposed to be dark comedies first and foremost is like the best way to approach them, because I think that you appreciate more in the episodes if you look at it like that. Like the last episode has been my favorite so far, the like saw trap rip-off one. I thought that one was the best. It was like the funniest, and I don't know, I just liked all the vibes and I liked the chemistry and everything. So that was definitely my favorite, and I think it was very funny.
So there's an opening shot in this episode where he's filming the toys. And he's giving them voices, and they see the wolf, and he's hearing the howling and all of that. That's an interesting scene. Because clearly she has no awareness that these are toys. She comes thinking she's about to film animals, right? So when she sees them, she's like, are you kidding me? And he's like, well, what do you mean, right? So that begs the question, who the fuck is that video for? Is that him getting into
just,
character?
yeah.
Is that him just being a filmmaker and
Yes.
and he's just like,
yeah,
I'm having fun and playing around, or like,
yeah.
or as I said, like it is like this method thing where he has to set the stage for himself to get into the headspace to do this with this person, because like no one's seeing that
Right.
but him, and maybe if he throws it on the dark web or whatever, and the weirdos that watch that, but like she doesn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
That's completely for him, and he's sitting there, you know, scripting out some horror show for these, you know, inanimate objects that he's giving life to.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting, because I thought that that was the tape he sent her and she was coming to like document his insanity, but then she saw the little dolls and was like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
Like what? So I was like, oh, okay, who the fuck are those who's that tape for in the beginning?
Good question. Us.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's not good enough, right?
But yeah, I think what you said, I think it's like kind of him getting into the headspace and also just like being a filmmaker and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe he was playing around, like maybe that was what inspired him to then be like, oh, I'm going to have somebody come and film my animals or whatever. I don't know.
So he pretends to knock himself out, which was like so stupid, and it's like, what? And then she checks his pulse, which is so crazy. But then she like goes and roots around his house, and I'm assuming as soon as she leaves that room, he jumps up and goes and stages their murders.
Yeah.
He's so fucking ridiculous. Yeah. The ending here too of like, I don't know how you light a match completely doused in gasoline and then have someone burning around you and you don't also become engulfed in flames yourself. Like, to think that someone giving you a hug and pressing up some of the gasoline, you have to remember that gasoline evaporates very quickly in the atmosphere, right? Like if you pour gasoline over yourself, you have a very quick window to light yourself on fire. The only thing that would stay, like your clothes would stay a little bit doused in it, and your hair would because it absorbs it, but the skin itself would just, it like instantly evaporates very, very quickly, gone. So to just give someone like a really brief hug, to think that she'd be so much more flammable than him, like there's no way. She would be nowhere near as flammable as him with his entire head soaked in gasoline. Mm. All of his clothes are completely soaked, and she just gave him like a brief little hug. Her disingenuous nature though, of like exposing this guy is really shitty.
Yes.
And the fact she's like winking behind his back as he's having
crazy.
like his revelations
Yeah.
is fucked up, and it's like, how could she even use that footage in her documentary? Right? Obviously, there's nowhere near enough footage to make it. But like, she'd have to cut it off, because if I saw a filmmaker like while they're like subject,
they're supposed to be
was
helping
breaking
someone
down,
or
they're
whatever.
like, aha, isn't this guy nuts?
Yeah, that would be so crazy. Yeah, she's very disingenuous.
Yeah, I couldn't.
That's probably why I picked her.
I couldn't take it seriously though that he lit her ablaze 2 inches from, like, literally he's like right next to her as she's burning. And then you pointed out, of course, too, that like, how did the footage survive?
Yeah,
while
she's
the
like,
camera's
he doesn't even pick up the
engulfed,
camera
too.
Yeah. Questions. Thinking too much about it, probably. But
I know.
I know.
It's just supposed to be
always,
playful.
Yeah.
We overanalyze.
Yeah. Overanalyze. It is what it is.
It is what it is. The no cook, that stuff, and him running around. You're right though. I agree with you. Like, cringy is a good word for like some of his freakouts and stuff.
In this one specifically, I don't really feel like that about the creep, but this one I was like, I don't like this character.
It's very silly. Yeah, for sure. I feel like we sound like we're always constantly knocking this show, and really all it is criticism when we talk about it.
100%. I think all our reviews so far. Last week was not that. Last week, I think we actually maybe came across as enjoying it a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I still find enjoyment in this, and I'm not here to say it was too short and all that again. I've done that enough. I'm over
Every
it.
episode.
Yeah, we've definitely beat a dead horse with that one. But I can't help but point out reality here.
Yeah.
I'm not shitting on the show. I'm just being genuine. Yeah, I got some chuckles out of this because it's just so over the top. It's so silly. And I guess, yeah, the question does come down to, would someone actually stick around? Would a young woman by herself? And that's another thing. I've talked about this plenty of times, but I can't help but always mention this. Nobody makes films by themselves. That's not how things work. No, like, maybe these are very ambitious young filmmakers who are just starting out, but like, you don't show up to shoot a documentary alone. Right? Like, no fucking... Only in Creep does that happen. In any other thing I've ever watched, ever, there's always a crew with them.
Yeah.
There's always at least 2 other people. There's someone to film it, and there's someone to do the sound. And then the third person is like the host or whatever, or the director.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that people show up with just a camera and nothing else, no mics, no lighting, no any, like, what kind of filming? And one of the last episodes, I think it was maybe episode 2, the guy who like immediately is on to him and is like gets himself killed, and then the cop thing, and we talked about that. But he's like, I owe $200,000 in film school loans, and I'm just like, you went to film school and you showed up to shoot a documentary by yourself with no equipment other than a camera, no tripod, no anything. That's fucking insanity. That's fucking insanity. There's no way. Nobody ever shows up with anyone else. Ever. 100% of the time, there is one person.
Yes.
It's
maybe one day
we'll get a
film crew.
It doesn't make any sense. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. I think that's it.
It's a very silly episode.
Yeah.
His character is very stupid, and yeah, I mean it's the Creep. He tries things out, right?
Yeah.
That's that. All right, guys.
Bye. Bye.